everybody, and welcome back to Panda Pop's Crafting Joyful Moments. And it's simply Saturday. This is a new thing I'm going to do going forward. This is mainly going to be for Facebook, but I will put it on YouTube as well. And it's taking some simple things from our Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper and a simple sentiment, and making a really lovely card for somebody. So this is the suite I'm going to be using today. So it's Lovely Blossoms, it's some beautiful papers, and we've got some gorgeous coordinating paper that goes with it. So we've got Secret Sea, Petal Pink, Old Olive, Cloud Cover and Crumb Cake. It also comes with some beautiful ribbon and also some embellishments. So I'm just going to keep it quite simple today, and I'm going to show you how. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my cardstock. So I'm going to use my trimmer. All other trimmers obviously are available. I use the Stampin' Up! One because I just find it so easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I remember right how I do this, I'm going to cut my card. Pulling this out. I'm going to cut my card to 29 centimetres on the longest edge, making sure I've just got it up, and that's it. And I'm going to trim off that tiny little bit. It just makes the maths easier for me, that's all. Okay. And on this side, we're not actually going to trim anything off. This is actually 21 centimetres. So before I do any further cutting, I'm going to use our scoring blade at 10.5 centimetres. And I'm just going to put a score line. The good thing about the Stampin' Up! Trimmer is that it does come with a scoring blade as well. Now I'm going to cut my paper, and because we cut the paper down to 29 centimetres, I'm going to cut this at 14.5. Okay, so I now have 2 card bases out of 1 sheet of A4. Okay. Excuse my fingers. Okay, so we're going to take our first card base, and I'm just going to fold it. Fold it in half, aligning it up. I'm just going to get my bone folder. Actually going to turn it over that way. And I'm just going to make sure that I am burnishing the edges to make the card lie flat. So that is our card base. Next thing we need, what are we actually going to put on our card base? So I'm actually going to use one of these from the Designer Series paper for the Lovely Blossoms. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer again, and I'm going to have to remember that I currently have a card base which is 10.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. So let's have a look at these and just have a look to see what... So that's about 10.5, which means I can cut this lovely pink one down. I'm going to use the pink one. This is why this card is very simple and actually quite quick to make. Just going to cut that off. And just going to cut the other beautiful paper. I love this paper, is my absolute favourite at the moment, and I am going to be using it for the rest of the week to do some cards. Okay, so let's just double check our... So we currently have, and it's around about just over 15 by around about just over 10. So I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to make it to 9.5. So I'm going to cut a little bit off each side till I get to 9.5. Don't get rid of these little bits. Keep the little bits. I will do a demonstration with a card later on this month where I've used these little bits. So I'm just going to turn it around, see what we're at currently, which is just over 9. So I'm going to actually take it off this bit till we get to 9.5. Making sure I line it up, keeping my little bit. These tiny little bits of strips can be used for, looks like a little bit like ribbon, And that's what I tend to use it for, but I am actually going to create a card just with the little strips. Now, what we were on here again, we needed to come down to 13.5. I think that's too much on that side, so I'm going to cut at 14. Again, keeping my strip, and then I'm going to line this up to 13.5, which will give us our piece to put on the front. Okay, so let's just move the paper trimmer out, and I'm going to bring in card, and here we are, have our card on top of our card base. Okay, so we have those two bits now. Now we need a sentiment, something which is quick and easy to do. I'm going to use the part of the Sweet Lovely Arrangements. I'm just going to use a sentiment to put on this, and for quickness I'm also going to use the banner punch that we have. So Stampin' Up recently brought in new ways of storing their stamps and dies. I have to say, a hater initially, but I do actually really quite like them now. It frees up so much space in my craft room, and it just makes things a little bit easier for me. So I'm just going to pick the stamp just a note. Let's move that out of the way. I am going to quickly bring in the new stamping positioner, only just so it's makes it easier for me, just to make sure that if I get them, to ensure I get the right sorry, I'm not explaining myself very well this morning, to ensure that if I have to restamp things, I am going to get it in exactly the same place. So this is a new thing that we brought out recently, the Stampin' Positioner. Oh, I seem to have a cat hair on there. Trials and tribulations of work when you have a pet in the house. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on there. Before I do that, let's put your magnets down. That would be sensible. Okay. And I am just going to position that on there. And I'm going to pick it up with the Stampin' Positioner block. Okay, so I've picked it up. Haven't got my ink ready though, but I am going to use, if I can find it, Secret C, because it coordinates with what is on this card here. And I'm just going to give that a little bit of a tap. Okay, a little bit of a tap, and I'm going to put it back on. It has holes at the top to line up, and I'm going to press down. Ah, love it. Okay, what I'm actually going to do is, whilst we have this, I am going to stamp some more, just because then I think I probably over inked that one. Didn't actually ink it enough by the looks of it, but let's ink it again. See what I did? I stamped it the wrong way around, and look what I've now got. Ah, where are my baby wipes? Let me just clean that off. Let me just clean this off. So I do not want ink on my new Stampin' Positioner. Okay, so I'm just going to line those up again because that's where I had it. And I'm just going to press down, and hopefully it's not, I think it must be my inking. I'm not inking that correctly. I'm just missing that top bit, I think, because I've positioned it too far at the top. Okay. Let's learn from our mistakes and ensure that we are stamping just the stamp and nothing else. This is going to be too thick of a sentiment now, but there we go. Picks it up. Do I like it? Yes, I do like it. And I'm just going to do one more whilst we're playing. It just means that you can actually, I've done here, I've just added more ink, and it's actually made it a bolder image. Okay, so I've got three now on that I can use. I'm just going to close my stamp off. I apologise if I'm going out of frame with this. Hopefully you can see everything. Okay, so let's move this out of the way as well. Just to one side. side. I have to say I am thoroughly enjoying playing with this new Stampin' Up positioner. Make sure that you keep your magnets on there, you don't want to lose them. There will be more magnets available when it comes out, but at this moment in time you can't buy them separately, so I need to really keep a good eye out on them. I'm now going to use the new banner punch that is currently available with Stampin' Up. And in order to use it, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to feed this in, line it up, just get you a better picture, line it up. And am I happy with that? Am I happy with that? Probably not. It's very difficult when you're on camera to do this. Okay, so I've just done that. And maybe I'm going to use the other one at the end. Maybe this one. Just line it up slightly better. And then obviously it gives me options. Okay, and I'm actually going to use this one for this last one. It gives you 3 options for a banner punch. So I've got 2 that I can choose from now, whether you can actually see those, on to use for our card. So now they're up, it's very quick and simple. I'm now going to just add some sticky. Because I have dexterity issues, I don't use the Stampin' Seal from Stampin' Up. It is really, really good, but I got this off Amazon, you know, that wonderful place. And because it's got this handle on it, it just makes it easier to grip. So anybody with dexterity issues, I would wholeheartedly advise to get something like this. It just makes it easier for me to grip. Now I'm just going to move things around a little bit here so I can get this as straight as possible on my card. So I've lined it up with the lines on the grid paper that I have. And before I stick it down, am I happy with that? Have I managed to do it? Ugh. You know what? It's a handmade card if it's not quite right. It's not quite right. You can see that I've not got an even border at the top. But I am now going to pick our just a note. And I'm going to add it there. Now you can add dimensionals, make it, you know, add ribbon, but this is Simply Saturday, and we are just making a simple, quick card for somebody who may just need it. Somebody just, you know, you might need just to give something nice and pretty for a friend if you wanted to, or, you know, if you needed to check in with somebody, you can use it for that. It's up to you. I've left it blank in the middle. It is up to you whether you wanted to add anything further. What you could do, but we're not going to today, would be to add stamps. You could add dimensionals if you wanted to. You could add our little, let me just find them, our Lovely Blossom embellishments. So you could pick up the Secret Sea from there. You could even add the white or the cloud cover you could pick up from that. It's up to you. But yeah, very simple card to make. This is just purely using the stamp set, the designer series paper, and our punch. Obviously, you don't need to use the punch. You could cut it out yourself if you wanted to. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. For our Simply Saturday card. Enjoy and come back next week for one. All right, take care, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Those of you who who know me, I'm starting some new things. So tomorrow I will be doing what we call Sharing Sunday, and that is sharing projects that I'm going to be doing out throughout the week. They won't all be videos, but they will be tutorials that you can click in. It will take you to my blog and it will give you further information on how to make these things. Yeah, so that's my plan. So Sharing Sunday tomorrow. Again, I'm going to be sharing how I've used the Lovely Blossoms suite and talking you through the rest of the week with what I'm going to be curating. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.